The most dangerous emotion to the relationships in your life. It's not rage, it's not jealousy, it is contempt. The two primary emotions, anger and disgust, combine to form a secondary emotion of contempt. So understanding these two ingredients helps explain why contempt can destroy bonds in your life that anger alone never could. Because anger and disgust want different things. Anger says, you wronged me, and it wants resolution. Anger is confrontational, but it's still fundamentally engaged. See, it yells because it believes that you are willing to hear. And every fight where anger is doing the talking, strangely, is an act of hope. While disgust, on the other hand, is something else entirely. Disgust says, you contaminate me. Its function is expulsion, pushing away the spoiled thing before it gets inside. Disgust doesn't want resolution. It wants distance. It doesn't argue with the rotten food, it just removes it. So when you mix these two powerful emotions, you get something else that has judged you guilty and categorized you as waste. That is contempt. The eye rolls, the sneers, the mockery, the talking bad about a person behind their back to friends. It's not just a more intense version of anger. No, it's a more complex emotion that has stopped believing you're worth engaging with, and it's already processing you for disposal. And the evidence on this is stark. The psychologist John Gottman spent decades watching couples argue, and he found that he could predict divorce with a startling accuracy from just a handful of behaviors. And the single strongest predictor was not shouting, not passive aggression, contempt. Couples who rage at each other often survive, but couples who sneer at each other rarely do. Because anger is still at the table, but contempt has already left the building and it's warning others not to enter. I mean, just look at the political climate in the U.S. right now through this lens. The right versus the left. It's not just that the sides are angrier at each other. No, the climate has escalated to include disgust. The other side isn't just wrong anymore. They're repulsive. And disgust doesn't negotiate. That's why everything feels unfixable right now, because you cannot compromise with what you have classified as contamination. So here's a powerful thought experiment for you, a little social life audit. Ask yourself, who in my life have I moved from anger to contempt with? And be honest, you know the difference between these by feel. Anger's still willing to argue while contempt has just stopped bothering. You may have one or two people in mind, maybe a group of people. So I need you to ask yourself and decide deliberately, was that escalation deserved? Because contempt should be rare and very justified, never automatic or just a habit. If it's anger, there's still hope. But if it's contempt, there's rarely a path back. So it's worth thinking on.